OKC has been the best team in the league, but Indiana has been the second best team in the league. That's what the numbers tell us.
Jump shot. It's good. It's good. Tyrese Halliburton does it again.
Ladies and gentlemen, he did it again. The Indiana Pacers and Oklahoma City Thunder finally met for game 1 of the NBA Finals, and wow, we're in for one hell of a series. I told you all after the Pacers clinched their Eastern Conference Finals win over the Knicks that this final series was going to be wildly entertaining, but even that doesn't do justice to just how good game 1 was. I know it's just game 1 and we still have a lot of basketball that's yet to be played, but this game may have told us exactly where this series is going to go. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to get the latest NBA news. And now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro. We created a new Discord server where we've been profiting like crazy on Prize Picks, including this crazy $2,000 hit just the other day. I'm gonna leave a link to join this Discord community in the description down below. It's a WAP link. And if you haven't signed up for Prize Picks, make sure you use my promo code microphone to get a free $50 when you make a play of $5 or more. And thank you, Prize Picks, for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Game 1 is over, and it was everything we could have wanted out of these two teams and more. The Indiana Pacers walked away with this one, beating OKC at home 111 to 110. But you can't just look at the numbers when it comes to this game, because the outcome of this game lies so much deeper than numbers. From the jump, the Thunder looked like the OKC Thunder we've come to know this season, smothering the Indiana Pacers' fast-paced offense, forcing them to play slow-paced, half-court basketball, which caused them to make mistake after mistake. It seemed for a while like the people who were criticizing this finals matchup were right. Those people said for days that the Indiana Pacers can't compete with the OKC Thunder, and that this series was going to be a boring blowout, myself included. And originally it looked like we were spot on with that evaluation through 3.5 quarters. But if there's one thing that we've learned this playoffs, it's that you can never count out the Indiana Pacers. To absolutely nobody's surprise at this point, the Pacers made yet another miraculous fourth quarter comeback. It was like the sequel to game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. They were down by 15 with 9.5 minutes to go and ended up winning this game on the back of a few key moments. So let's go over these key moments because it's stuff that you definitely don't want to miss. First and foremost, we finally found out what makes the Indiana Pacers, and their three-point shots started to fall. Obi Toppin and Miles Turner would take turns making huge threes, including this ridiculous shot where Miles Turner did his best Tyrese Halliburton impression, hitting a step-back three off the backboard on the back of a mean pump fake to get Chet Holmgren in the air. At this point, the lead was slimming down fast because the otherwise efficient OKC Thunder could not find the bottom of the basket during this Indiana run. However, they were still getting to the free throw line, so the Pacers still had some significant climbing to do. Shocker, right? With 2 minutes to go, Indiana found themselves down by 6. And here's where we're going to see arguably the most important moment of the game go down. Andrew Nembhard is going to take the ball and simply ISO his close friend, Olympic teammate, and league MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And he's going to do it so confidently that what Shai does will not matter in the slightest. He's going to size Shai up with a couple of key dribbles at the top of the key before he turns it into a hezzy to get Shai on his toes. And from there, it was over for the MVP. Nembhard then goes tween cross, and then hits a power dribble to his left before stepping back and hitting one of the toughest shots I've seen all season from a skill and a situational standpoint. This shot brought Indiana within 3 with less than 2 minutes to go and completely gave Indiana the momentum. What an incredible shot. However, after that, the Thunder did what 3 teams failed to do in 3 consecutive series against the Indiana Pacers, and that's halt their momentum in crunch time. Just 30 seconds after that insane shot from Nembhard, Indiana has the ball with a chance to tie the game with a 3. Instead, Indiana continues to target Shai, this time with Aaron Nesmith, who blows right by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on a dribble handoff from Tyrese Halliburton. But there's a problem. There's a torture chamber waiting for him in the paint. Lou Dort meets Aaron Nesmith in the restricted zone and matches him up top, blocking his shot with force and creating an OKC fast break the other way. Now, this could have been called a foul, but in a situation like this, especially in the NBA Finals, I like that it was a no call. Dort's body made significant contact with Aaron Nesmith, but he was vertical, so that was a legal block in my opinion. Regardless, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander ends up with the ball and drives to the paint before all but two Pacers were able to get back, and hits this tough layup over Obi Toppin and Pascal Siakam to give OKC a 5-point lead late in the game. It seemed like it would be Shai time, and that the Thunder would put an end to the Pacers' black magic as they're calling it. But unfortunately for OKC, Mark Daigneault would make a huge mistake. With about 3.5 minutes to go, Daigneault subbed in Cason Wallace for Chet Holmgren, giving OKC a lineup consisting of 5 guards: Shai, Wallace, J-Dub, Alex Caruso, and Lou Dort. Indiana would then counter that by subbing in Obi Toppin for Miles Turner, and it officially became a small ball matchup. But the problem with that is Indiana still had Pascal Siakam on the floor, and it was evident. With just over a minute left, Shai would look to take Andrew Nembhard to the basket and either get a bucket or free throws. Instead, he got stuffed by Pascal Siakam, who was single-handedly locking down the paint against 5 guys who are shorter than him. Then on the other end, Nembhard would look to replicate his shot from a minute prior, this time on Cason Wallace, but he would airball instead. I mean, I don't blame him after that shot. Still, Wallace being on Nembhard meant that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would be left on an island somewhere, and unfortunately for Shai, he was left on Siakam Island. As soon as Nembhard put up the shot, Pascal Siakam started sprinting to the basket against a ball-watching SGA, knowing he had a size advantage, looking to grab a crucial offensive rebound. Lucky for him, he was in the perfect position to catch Nembhard's airball and put up a key putback layup with no one giving him a hard time. This was a rough couple of possessions for the MVP. Then, once it came down to it, Shai would be matched up against Andrew Nembhard once again with the chance to put the game away, but Nembhard would force Shai into a tough shot, which he would miss, leading to one more miraculous Tyrese Halliburton game-winning shot in the playoffs to give Indiana a crucial Game 1 victory on the road. How does he keep doing it?
Really defies description. I mean, and it's getting to the point. Number of shots that Tyrese Halliburton has made significance in one postseason run. It's really incredible the way he's stacking them up, even on nights when maybe he is a little bit quieter than normal.
Tyrese Halliburton continues to make magic, and this is truly something that we're going to be telling our grandkids about 50 years down the line. This is an incredible run. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton this year is the only player in NBA history with 3 go-ahead shots in the final 5 seconds of a playoff game. The guy has more in this playoff run than the late great Kobe Bryant did in his entire career. As a matter of fact, the only player with more in their career since play-by-play began in 1996 is LeBron James. Tyrese Halliburton has been that special. On top of that, if you're looking at crunch time as a whole, Hallie is 6 for 7 in tying and go-ahead shots in the final 90 seconds of a game in this year's playoffs, which is the most in a single postseason since 1997. I don't care what a regular season award says. This guy is clearly the most clutch player in basketball, and it may not even be close. Looking back, who in their right mind voted him as the most overrated player in the NBA? However, Halliburton would have never gotten the chance to make his mark on another game if OKC did their job. This game should have been a blowout, but it wasn't, and it cost the Thunder big time. All season long, the Indiana Pacers averaged only 13.2 turnovers per game, which was good for 3rd in the NBA behind OKC themselves and the Boston Celtics. However, the Thunder forced them to 19 in just the first half alone. This should have blown the game wide open before the teams even went to the locker room, but it didn't. Off of those 19 turnovers, OKC only scored 9 points, failing to capitalize on plenty of important and, in hindsight, game-changing moments when they didn't seem to matter much. I mean, they shot 36% in the first half. That just won't cut it. TJ freaking McConnell was the leading scorer for Indiana at the break, and they still ended up losing the game. Indiana only led this game for 0.3 seconds, but they were the most important 0.3 seconds in the entire game. Fun fact, those 0.3 seconds were the first time the Pacers have led in a finals game, period. Indiana handed OKC this game on a silver platter, and they basically just said, nope, We don't want it, you can have it. This type of lackluster basketball lost them game 1, and at this rate, it genuinely might lose them the entire series.
Early on, you're writing down words like suffocating and hellacious. They turned them over 20 times and a half, and the Pacers looked shook. But they standing 8, and they're able to punch their way off the ropes, and as I said, they land the knockout.
This genuinely felt like OKC's best opportunity to take control of this series, and they blew it. I mean, they're this dominant team that nobody can beat. They forced damn near 20 turnovers and a half, they get 38 points from their MVP, and they lose at home to a team that they were a 9.5 point favorite to beat. I'd be embarrassed if I was Mark Daigneault and the OKC Thunder. OKC hasn't lost a home game against an Eastern Conference opponent in almost 15 months. And guess who they lost it to then? Yup, the Indiana Pacers. But it gets even crazier. Listen to this ridiculous stat. Before game 1, teams when trailing by 9+ points in the final 3 minutes of an NBA Finals game since 1971 were 0-182. Now that record is 1-182. The Indiana Pacers continue to defy odds, and the Thunder were supposed to be the team to stop that from happening. Still, you can't count out the Thunder just yet. Yes, this was a terrible loss, and yes, Indiana has all the momentum in the world right now, but they did look like the better team for 3.5 quarters. As long as they can get their act together when it matters most, this team can win against anybody in the league, including an odds-defying Pacers team. This is going to continue to be an unbelievably entertaining series, and the best part of all is we're going to be able to see it all unfold on Netflix's Starting 5 in October, and I desperately want to see 6 more games of this. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think the series is going to end up being? Aside from that, I don't know if you heard, but Zion Williamson continues to ruin his life. We have a huge update. I'm going to leave it in the end screen and meet you guys there. I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.